Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Hamera Kumar. Welcome to HBL Market Insight. The state bank in a latest move increased the CRR by 1% and cited that this measure will moderate growth as well as domestic demand and will help to sustain the current economic recovery, achieve government's medium-term inflation target and reduce pressure on the rupee. This was a surprise move by the state bank as markets were anticipating change in policy statement by the end of this month. Persistently high inflation readings, supply side bottlenecks, currency weakness, and elevated global commodity prices are making headlines every day. In the month of October, inflation reading came in at 9.2%, and there are expectations that there will be further increase in inflation reading driven by high food and energy prices as well as strong domestic demand. Economic recovery has been robust across all major sectors, and as a result, we have seen increase in our import bills, subsequently leading pressure on the external account. The monetary authorities, by changing the reserve requirements, are trying to bring down the money supply growth in the system in order to reduce the inflationary pressures. The monetary tightening cycle has already begun, and now with this change in the reserve requirement, it will be interesting to see SBP's stance in the next monetary policy statement. I have with me my colleague Salman Jafri, and we'd like to hear his views on State Bank's latest move. Over to you, Salman.
Thanks, Amira. This increase in the cash reserve requirement follows the State Bank's most recent increase in the policy rate by 0.25%. These two things coupled together are very clear signals to the economy that the State Bank is now withdrawing its accommodative stance, and we are about to go into a period of protracted tightening of monetary policy. From here, if the central bank's desired stance is to keep real interest rates in the positive zone, our assessment that inflation potentially crossing 10.5% will mean that the policy rates might all rise to 11%. As far as this cash reserve hike is concerned, it's not going to have a very massive impact on the system liquidity. We assume about 170 to 175 odd billion rupees of impact happening in terms of overall siphoning off of liquidity from the system. But it sends a very clear signal to the system that demand pressures are causing too much of a problem, both on the external account and on the value of the rupee care, and it's time to tighten the belt. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Salman, for your views, and thank you all. We'll keep you posted with any new market developments.